Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, everybody. How is everybody doing? Happy Sunday to everybody. Listen, we want to talk about just kind of give you an update on USC and the Riley Pettyjohn situation. You guys know I came directly to you guys yesterday in reference to Riley Pettyjohn. Kind of gave you some information that I had as it relates to that. And we just tried to connect the dots as it relates to all those things. So, look, I'm going to wait for a couple of seconds, wait to see everybody come on in. Come on in. So, we're going to talk about it. You say you can't wait to hear this one. Listen, Riley Pettyjohn, mom speaks. She speaks today. And we'll talk about that. Raul, fight on, fight on. And so, look, what I'm going to do is something a little bit different just today. I feel like there are several people that have been connected with the program, well, USCJ for a while. There's several people that tap in with me all the time, and I really appreciate them. They're members, channel members. And so I said, look, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to allow some fans to speak. Those who are channel members, those who regularly tap in, I'm going to allow you guys to, I'm going to allow a couple of you guys to come in. I've already got a couple of guys, those who connected with me on Instagram. I'm just going to send a link to some of those guys. So let's talk about it real quick, and we'll get this information out. But the first guest I'm going to bring, his name is Phil Parker. He's been really connected to USCJ for a long time, man. And you guys know, real quick, just let me give you an update. I talked about Riley Pettyjohn. One of the things I said was that I felt like it was more of a football decision opposed to NIL. And I said a little bit of NIL could have been in there. And I felt like if you look at the program as a whole, historically, the past couple of years, I felt like Ohio State might have had the edge, and I thought we had to look at that from a clear perspective. So let's take a look at this real quick and take a look. Hey, Brandon, if you want to get on, man, let me know. I'll send you the link, man. Let me know. So the first guest I'm gonna have, his name is Phil Parker, man, and we're gonna get into it real quick. Phil, what's the word? Phil has been tapping in for a long time. What's the word?
Big J, it's been a minute, hasn't it?
It's been a minute. And Phil, kind of introduce yourself. You have been connected. I've been going, this is like 2.5 years. And Phil, you have been connected for a long time, man. And I just want to say, this is my way of showing gratitude to you and to other fans who are members who connected with me and regularly check up on me, man. So Phil, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, Jay. And I think that I'm being joined by about 6,000 other followers of yours. And congratulations for cracking that number. I think it's going to go up and up.
Right.
The way you're doing.
Right. And so Phil, one of the things I talked about yesterday, Brandon, I'm gonna send Brandon the link. Brandon, after Phil, I want you to come on. Let me send you the link also. So I talked about this yesterday, and one of the things I talked about was I said that there will be a change in leadership that I heard coming from a source in the next couple of weeks. And I didn't want to name any names, but the name is out there. Several other outlets have tried to put it out there. But, when it came to this particular recruitment, I personally felt like it wasn't NIL. I felt like it was more so of a football decision. And sometimes they're going to be football decisions. And I just felt like there were some pros and cons made up that as a result. And I felt like USC matched their NIL. But I felt like when you weigh the pros and the cons, I felt like it came down to a football decision. So what's your thought on that?
Okay, so when we think about the situation, first of all, we're all guided a little bit by those who issue the crystal footballs, right? And these are people who are paid they're analysts. And so, but think of an analyst. What is an analyst doing? How many players is that person looking over in their daily job? I mean, it seems like they have to be flying at the 1,000-foot level, right? Because if they're looking at, say, maybe they're looking at 100 different players, maybe 300 different players who are all interested in USC. How deep, how focused can an analyst, any given one, get on that individual person? So I'm thinking about, Pettyjohn here. And the analysts got it wrong. They thought they all gave crystal balls to USC. He ended up going and choosing OSU. So now we have to maybe take a step back and wonder, when we're looking at a young man, we need to think about a few things. One, where's he from? Young man's from Texas, right? Another thing, who does he love? Like, who is closest in his life? Seems to me it's his mom. Where's she? Where does she live? I think she lives about an hour from OSU. Pretty close.
No. Well, actually, his mom, she's from Cincinnati, but she lives in Texas. His mom and dad live in Texas. He's from Texas, McKinney, Texas, but she's actually from that area. And yeah, she's from that area, which is I guess Columbus is about an hour approximately from Cincinnati. So that was one connection there, right?
Deep ties to Columbus, I guess.
Right.
That's got to be.
that was somebody's Instagram story. My finger hit the. Sorry about that.
Okay, I get it. Well, all right. So we've thought a little bit about where he's from and who's close to him. Obviously, mom. Of course, friends and family. But the other thing is goals. So what are his goals? When you're a young man with that kind of athletic ability, and you've been working so hard to get to the level that he's gotten to, what is he, the number 3 level linebacker in the country?
He's the number 2 linebacker. And we'll get into, for those who are waiting, we'll get into what his mom said in just a few seconds here. Yeah. And then Brandon, you'll come on right after here.
Yeah. And I'll let you get to that. But goals. So if you're at that level, that's a lofty level. That's a high area to be at as a young man. And you've got to be thinking about NFL is your logical next step.
Right.
NFL has to be that. Hey, Brandon.
This is Brandon from Light the Torch. He has Light the Torch podcast. I don't know if you've ever seen him, but go subscribe to that if you haven't yet. And
I have, and I have actually. So
okay. Okay.
So just finishing up a quick statement here. His goals, NFL. So as he looks at USC, if let's say he's not thinking about the money, let's say it's not NIL, it's nothing like that, then you're looking at his ultimate goal, the NFL. Now you're thinking, okay, who are his position coaches going to be? So we're looking at Laurinaitis over at OSU. We're looking at Entz over at SC. Background, Laurinaitis. What did he do in his background? He was a star linebacker at Ohio State. He was also a linebacker in the NFL for 3 years. Those are both impressive things when you're a young man and you're looking up to who's going to develop me, who's going to give me that confidence, who's going to make me into that future mold and help me become that star athlete, but not just in college, but at the NFL level. And so development's the key, I think, guys. And that's where this leaves me when I see him making that decision and seeing all of the analysts having gone one way, thinking USC was the choice, and seeing him going ahead and making OSU as his choice. OSU right now, Ohio State, they're at the top. They're not on a climb like USC is. He could place a bet and say, I'm going with the team on the climb. But instead, he's saying, no, I want to go with the team that's already up at the top. And the biggest thing that can help me get to the NFL is film. And I'll leave it there. Big J.
All right, man. All right. I appreciate you, Phil. Definitely anytime, man. I'm going to have you guys, I'm going to start doing this more, having more people on. I'm going to get the phone line set up, but I'm going to start doing this, especially people that's tapped in, man, on the regular. So, Phil, I definitely appreciate you, man. Definitely appreciate you. If you want to hang tight, you're more than welcome. Brandon, and real quick, I'm going to, before you come on, Brandon, if you got time, I just want to read Pettyjohn's mom's statement real quick, which she said, this was the statement that she put out today. I saw where Scott Schrader, I think he put that on Twitter, and this is what she said. She says, I can't speak for every recruit, but NIL was not a deciding factor for Riley. And so that was kind of one of the things that I said yesterday. I felt like it was a football decision. Brandon, what's your thoughts on that, man?
I would have to agree, man. I was speaking to some of the other guys from the podcast earlier today, and we all pretty much agree, man. Like if you if you see where we are, just like Jeff said, you see where we are right now. We're still building. We're still unproven. Looking at it from a defensive recruit perspective.
No doubt, no doubt.
And that's the sure thing over there right now. They're top 5 defense. You can't. What can you do? I mean, I have no reason to believe that she is lying when she says that. I don't really take. Of course, like I told you, we don't really know her personally, but
Right.
I don't take her as the type to be NIL motive driven. Being that he comes from a good household, 2-parent income. I think they're okay over there. They're living all right.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if the dad played in the NFL or not, but I know he played at Syracuse. He has great experience. I mean, he comes from a solid middle class family, and I just feel like they made a sound decision. Well, in their mind, they made a sound decision in their mind, opposed to their values, what they're looking for from an athletic standpoint, from a program standpoint. And look, everybody, I think it's hard for us to take this in. We see USC as one way. Of course, we identify USC as a top tier program, which they are. USC is a true blue blood program, and we understand that the coaching staff is phenomenal. They are a top tier coaching staff. However, the question is, does other recruits, other people, do they see USC? Do they view it the same way as we do? And I think it's hard to accept that we're not. Now, I did hear NIL was involved with some of the other guys, Justice Terry, Isaiah Gibson. So don't get that twisted. But this one, I felt like this was just a football decision. And I said it yesterday. People, they were like, Jay, come on, man. It's in it. Listen, that was my gut feeling. Phil, what's your thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you something. I tend to agree that this young man is focused. He's looking to make the right decision. He wants the next level. He's going to get the bag at SC. He's going to get the bag at OSU. But at OSU, he's got somebody, a coach who can really align with him. And he can, that coach is telling him things. He's telling him, I know what you're feeling when the young man's describing positions and moves and techniques and things. And that coach is probably telling him new ideas about techniques and positions and so forth. And that's going to go a long way with a young man who's really looking to get that film, get himself through college, through university, and straight into the NFL. I mean, I know that I would be looking for that kind of trajectory myself if I was in his shoes.
No doubt. And something, and BJ, I'm gonna let you say something. Just say something else that I want to say. I noticed a lot of stuff on Twitter. There was a lot of going back and forth on Twitter. I saw today, I believe, with at first it was Ohio State fans early on when USC was crystal ball. Now, Phil, just to kind of give you an update, it was a crystal ball to USC. However, it was starting to lean toward Pettyjohn on Friday, and then on Saturday morning when I woke up, the crystal ball was completely to him. It was like the thing was kind of like changing. It was like evolving by the minute. So,
right.
So I mean, they said what they said. Now, I mean, I think a lot of people forget that his mom, I mean, the fact that she's from Cincinnati, I mean, he has family out there. That's a big deal. So we got to consider all that. I forgot what I was about to say.
I'd like to address that really quick, if I could.
Yeah.
I remember one of our beloved USC commentators, somebody who studies recruiting very carefully. I remember when there was a particular recruitment about 2 years ago, and at the very last second, it was probably about 5 minutes before the recruitment was announced, he flipped his crystal ball of 90% USC all the way over to the other side. Right. I'm not even going to say which situation because I don't want to say a name or anything like that.
No. Well, let me say this. I believe that was NIL. I already know that was Ryan Palin. I believe that was
no. It wasn't. Trust me.
Oh, okay.
It's a different one.
Okay.
And the reason why that individual flipped that crystal ball at the last second, think about it. All of these people who are paid to forecast and be right, and those are their jobs, they they get paid for being right. And so he learned at the last second, so he had to flip that recruitment crystal ball at the last second. But let's not get it twisted. All of us can be mostly led along a certain path and think it was one way most of the journey. And then at the last second, things change, a little information gets out, and then here comes a new crystal ball. When really, it's so difficult. There really isn't a crystal ball. I'll say it, and now I've said it.
Well, and you're right. You guys remember I interviewed Herschel Dennis on this program, and Herschel Dennis said, do you guys remember what he said when he came on? He said that he was going to Oregon. He said his mom wanted him to go to USC, and he said it wasn't until the last minute that he made that decision. And I mean, it was like the split second. So there's so many things that we could think about. There's so many things that we got to consider. And BJ, you go. But one of the things I wanted to say was what I forgot. Please do not contact the parents unless you have something nice to say on Twitter. I mean, you making yourself look bad when you contacted the parents and say just lost in the sauce stuff. I don't understand who you are. I don't understand what kind of person you are to contact a person that, I mean, it's the kid's decision at the end of the day. BJ, you had anything you want to say in reference to all this?
Man, what was I saying? Oh, I do have a question for you guys, though. Being that, Pettyjohn kept it close between OSU and Ohio State, you think if we do ball out on the defensive side of the ball like we think we will, as Trojan fans, how we think we will, you think there's a chance that he may flip?
Absolutely. Think about what I think Scott Schrader put it up. You see what he said. He said, and they asked him about the NIL. He said USC NIL. It was what was his exact word? He said it was
So it was nice.
He said it was nice. So that means that, and I believe it's my belief that they matched his NIL, and it was a process of elimination, which was, look, do I go with the program that's been winning, or do I go with take a chance? And so to your point, he mentioned winning in that same statement, and so I think that USC absolutely has to win. We have to win this year, and if we do, that's another question. Does USC have to win this year?
Absolutely. This is a very important season for us. Absolutely. For Lincoln Riley's remainder of his tenure, for sure.
Yeah. Phil, what you think?
That first game is very important.
Okay. Yeah.
Just like Brandon's saying, I really think that winning is the name of the game, especially in this third year with Lincoln Riley at the helm at USC. I think that if he can prove this year that he's got it all in focus, he's got a winning defense. He has pulled in the best and the brightest on the defensive side of the ball as far as coaching goes. Now, what's that mean? That means young players are getting developed right now as we're talking. I mean, there are things in motion, and it's only going to get more. It's going to be more pronounced as things move forward. So development's the name of the game. As those players, by the way, they're getting bigger. They're getting larger. So we'll see. And we better, really pull for those Trojans because they do need to win. I agree with you guys both.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. And by the way, I believe that USC is going to, I'm believing for a 10-2 season. We'll bring you back on another time, Phil, to we'll talk about the schedule. And the thing is, I think we're going 10-2. I think this defense is really going to be a lot better than what a lot of people think. I hadn't heard any national analysts, when they talk about USC, they keep going back to Lincoln Riley's referencing that. And my thing is this, it's like, have you did your due diligence and really studied the team, studied the coaching staff? Nobody makes reference to that. This is no longer the Alex Grinch era. We are no longer in that. We got to look forward. And I believe that USC has a coaching staff that's absolutely going to make these guys move and groove. BJ, what you think?
Absolutely, man. Another thing I was telling the guys today, I think that we're going to be surprised by, I'll say, a couple of guys on our defensive line. That seems to be a pretty big question mark for us so far. But I really think that Coach Henderson is going to make a huge difference in this room, man, opposed to last year. And we're going to have to see some guys jump out that was already on the roster that maybe wasn't getting the playing time that they probably deserved, or they just needed a little more development that they got to push them over the edge under Coach Henderson. So don't be surprised if you see somebody pop out that's, that's been here.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Listen, we got 121 people in here. Everybody hit that like button. Look, everybody get to see Phil. Phil is a superstar today. Everybody get to see Phil is the man. People don't understand. Phil has a lot of wisdom, man. I communicate with Phil on the side. I've been communicating with Phil. A lot of people don't probably recognize him because they've never seen his face. But if you ever see that name, Phil Parker, that this is him right here. And he has a lot of wisdom. So, Phil, what's your thoughts, man, on the football season?
Well, let me go back to Brandon because I think wisdom is coming from Brandon here. The things that he was saying. Let's really focus on the one thing: development. I mean, we've got these incredible coaches, and we have all of this talent. And so many times, when there's poor development going on, the best talent doesn't even emerge, and careers that could have happened didn't happen. And so when you put great development, like so, we've got our defensive line coach, Henny. He's these defensive line prospects that come to play for him. What are they looking for? They're not looking just to play some college ball and then get some NIL. No, they want to become Aaron Donald, who Henny developed, in the NFL. They want to become that next best version of themselves. And when that happens, they're thinking, my life, I'm going to be able to provide for my family and for for my kids and for anybody who I love. So there's a lot riding on the decisions that these young people make. And there is so much development that is possible under this incredible defensive coaching staff. Also, on the offensive side of the ball, Lincoln Riley, I think he is the finest offensive mind in college football. So I think we've got it on both sides. Let's see what happens, guys.
I want you guys to listen to something. This is something I was going to play this. By the way, I'm not doing a video in the morning. This video is going to have to make up for that. But I was going to play this clip in the video. This is Eric Henderson talking about what he desires in the player. You guys listen to this just for a second, and you guys can kind of give me your thoughts on this. Listen to this.
I love coaching because you can coach up AD and tell AD, hey, bro, first person to go to college, but
let's see.
Hey, that's how I know him. But right now, like, what type of dog you looking for? Yeah, that dad is, a dog.
Can you guys hear that?
Straight up. Sometimes guys
it's Eric Henderson.
Always have the elite measure.
Dog.
Be the tallest guy, the biggest guy, the strongest guy. But when you got, something in your chest that's pumping louder than everybody else, I'm rocking with that because I trust my ability as a coach to get you better. There's no one better in the game that has been there from to be able to help you reach that level of competitiveness. When you talk about defensive line play, then I feel like I am, right? And so I know that I can help anybody or help everybody get better.
All right, let me stop right there. So he says that he can help everybody get better. Now, we see it, we know it, we feel the enthusiasm. We want to jump through windows for Eric Henderson. We want to jump through doors. But once we put this product on the field and other players are able to see the enthusiasm, they're able to see the effort, I believe there's so many guys that can flip, whether it's Justice Terry, Isaiah Gibson, or whether it's Riley Pettyjohn. And I think right now that has to be shout out to Big Keith, man. He played at USC 1985. Big shout out to Keith, linebacker. But I think that needs to be the primary focus. Look, these guys are getting ready to start practice in about the 27th, I believe. I got a date. I think it's the 27th of this month. So that needs to be the primary focus. So what are you guys' thoughts on that video?
I'll let you go ahead, Phil.
I'll go. As far as flipping goes, the kids there's two groups, right? There are the people that have already chosen, the players that have chosen, they've made their choice. There are also the ones who haven't. The ones who haven't, they're waiting to see what goes on with USC. They're waiting to see, first of all, is there going to be a win over LSU? Will it be impressive? What is that going to look like? I myself, I want to go to Las Vegas. I just want to see which of my friends want to go so I can figure out which hotel to stay at. But I do want to see that game, and it's important. And that this entire season is going to be important. It's going to convince a lot of kids to go one way or the other. And I'll let you guys tell me what you think. But I agree. I think that the flips are possible, but it really depends on wins as far as the USC Trojans go.
Absolutely. BJ.
Yeah, as far as what Coach Henny's saying, man, I feel like he's saying if there's any dog in you, he's going to bring it out.
Absolutely.
You know? So that's why I said what I said about, we're going to see somebody make a big improvement who we didn't see in the past. So yeah, man, I mean that's the type of guy I would want to play for. You don't need a coach with that mentality. So yeah, man.
And he didn't say maybe. He said, I will bring it out of him. He said, I will bring that dog out of him. And that's, listen, some certain guys, and I think about some of the guys that left from USC, whether it's Colin Mobley, whoever, but guys like, what's his name? He's on the roster right now. He's Polynesian. Kobe Pepe, yeah. Guys like him, I believe that Coach Henny is going to bring it out of him. The technique, I mean, I truly believe that with all my heart. So I think USC is in a good position. I'm going to get to some of these questions real quick. This is Brian Jenkins. SC has a few big games this season that the recruits will be watching: LSU, Michigan, and Penn State. And speaking of the Penn State game, I just found out that Isaiah Gibson is supposed to be coming to the Penn State game. Go figure that one. You guys know we play Penn State at home. So what is that saying to you, the fact that he's coming to the Penn State game? I mean, that's not saying that you're interested and you decommitted and then you committed to Georgia. What do you guys think about that?
Well, think about it. Penn State coming to the Coliseum. What a dramatic setup. This is the Coliseum. Two Olympics? I'm not sure, but the Coliseum, there's so much drama. We've seen so many incredible things happen at the Coliseum. We've seen Pete Carroll's teams just raging up and down the field. We've seen so many incredible plays there. And the drama when Penn State comes to town, it's going to be incredible. I think that it'll be a spectacle.
No doubt. BJ.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's very interesting that he picked that it's coming out to visit, but that's noticed. There's still a shot. We still got a shot, man. We got to prove it on the field, and other things went into his decommitment as well. But if we can get that together, man, we still may have a shot at it. And
let's be real. We'll talk about it because we're not gonna throw NIL all the way out the window because you guys know. I believe that played a big part in Isaiah Gibson and Justice Terry. And by the way, Stubbs as well. Stubbs went and committed to a 5-7 team that went 5-7 in 2023. Then they went 7-6 in 5-7 in 2022, 7-6 in 2023. Miami is absolutely lost in the sauce. No disrespect to the coach, but you commit to a team like that. At least USC went to a bowl game and went 8-5, played in a good bowl game. But Miami, come on. Really stuff. But hey, it is what it is.
Didn't one of those players mention state taxes as an
comment? And let me correct that. Hey, Phil, you can talk about that. Let me correct that
too. I don't know what to say.
Because and once again, NIL is involved when you're talking about state taxes because I think California, what is it, 13% of the
Cali's a little expensive. We all know this.
Yeah, and so all of those things, and I think a lot of people got to think about that. How far would the money go? If Riley Pettyjohn was matched, I'm just saying this is not the number. I know people twist comments, but just say it was 500,000. I'm just giving you a number. 500,000 in LA, 500,000 in Ohio, and then you consider the taxes. How much was that into play? Does anybody ever consider that aspect of it as well?
I'd like to say something here. I think that if you're a player and you're going to the NFL, you're not worried too much about the 500,000 and what it's going to be in Ohio and what it's going to be at USC. I think you're really going to be focused on who's developing you, depending on the position that you focus on. So if you're on the defensive line, boy, do I think people want to play for Henny. If you're a quarterback, boy, I think people want to play for Riley. Lincoln Riley is the quarterback whisperer, right? So
Absolutely.
we do have two sides of the ball. It's important to remember that, and it's a mixed bag. But recruiting it's selling the university, and to the player who's unsure if he is going to make it to the NFL, then the pitch has to be a little more fulsome. It has to include a little bit more. Remember, USC is, as an academic institution goes, it's excellent. It's one of the best in the nation, especially in the business side. If you want to be a businessman and make some money after football is a conversation that these recruiters should be having with these prospects.
No doubt. And you had anything you want to say on that, BJ?
There's a little misconception as far as the tax thing, man. Tim actually mentioned this too on his show. Though we have the highest state taxes, these other states will tax you in other ways.
You are right about that. You are right about that. You're right about that.
Yeah,
we all pay one way or another.
Exactly. But another thing is any recruits watching, man, y'all need to consider this. USC is probably one of the only schools that's still actually doing real NIL, actual name, image, and likeness deals. Caleb didn't make his money just from, what USC gave him. He made more money with actual NIL deals. So we still doing that over here, man. So whatever that offer, you might want to consider that as well.
And I think, but the thing is, you got, and I know players. Well, I know a player, a parent rather, and I know a figure that was thrown out there for that a school actually gave. And man, when they see that money, it's like, it's hard for some of them to actually just say no to that. I mean, I'm just gonna keep it real. When you look at that actual amount, but to your point, USC has all the opportunities. I think Caleb ended up, I think they said $10 million by the time he left. Yep. That's what he made, like the final year. And so they just need to get here to really see the opportunities, man, especially if you got a big name.
Yep. If you're going to be a star, if you're going to play like a star, clearly in Los Angeles, the money will follow.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. So we really I just wanted to really to come up there and kind of put that out there. I'm not even gonna say all the way set the record straight, because there's a lot of people, and I saw it today. I saw them going back and forth with Riley Pettyjohn's mom, and I hate it, because to me that just shows you a lack of class when you come at somebody's kids. And the crazy thing about it, I saw Ohio State fans doing it a few days before, and I'm just like, wow, he's really not gonna commit there now. But I don't even know. His father played ball. They didn't even pay. I don't think they paid those comments any attention, even though the mom responded.
It's a personal decision. He made a very personal decision. I think he was thinking about his film. I think he was thinking about playing on the highest stage of the winningest team right now for him, at least in what he was really looking at, and development has to play a huge piece of that young man's choice.
No question about it. And so, look, I just wanted to I didn't want to take anybody, you guys' time up too much. Phil, you're the superstar today, man. So any last thing before you get up out of here that you wanted to say?
Just that I think that defense is not going to be the problem for USC in this upcoming season. I really think that USC is going to play solid football on both sides of the ball. I think it's true because of the coaching on both sides of the ball. And I think the kids that come to play for USC are going to get rewarded. And I also think that we're going to get some flips. Watch for them. Let's see what happens. And that's all I have to say. Thanks
Absolutely.
for the invite here, Jay.
Hey, no, I appreciate you coming in. And once again, for those, there are some fans that we got 135 people in here right now. There are a few people that are coming in here that are kind of late to the party, but I want to just kind of give you an update. He says, what did Riley Pettyjohn's mom say about USC and NIL? She put this tweet out today. She says, can't speak for every recruit, but NIL was not a deciding factor for Riley, Pettyjohn. So look, she put that out there, and you might have not heard me earlier. I said earlier yesterday that I felt like this was a football decision. I didn't feel like this was all NIL. If you guys remember me talking about that. So that's where we're at right now. That's what we're kind of touching on. And hey, it is what it is. We just got to move and grow and focus on what we got to focus on. We got the end of this month. USC is about to be go time. We got to forget about all this recruiting stuff, and we got to start thinking about these guys are about to put the pads on to go against LSU. And listen, I'm getting excited about that, thinking about that, because I know one thing. If we could come out there, you guys realize everybody counted us out against Louisville. They absolutely thought Louisville was going to put us. They were too physical. And guess what? Miller Moss came out there with guns blazing, and it was on and popping, on and crack. And you guys already know that if we come out there the same way, and by the way, LSU 2 years in a row, they lost against Florida State last year, and they lost against Florida State 2 years in a row. So the beginning of the season for them, they don't typically start well at the beginning of the season. You guys have anything you guys want to say on that as we approach this season?
LSU is going to have their hands full. They better watch out because SC is going to do the same thing they did in that bowl game.
Absolutely. Absolutely. BJ.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I don't think that the secondary is going to be able to handle what we bring into the Allegiant Stadium, man. I really don't. I think our receivers are going to go wild. Woody Marks is going to go wild again on them. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I expect us to win. I'll be there. I know you'll be there, man. You guys come meet us, man. We'll be out there.
Matter of fact, yeah. And so
yes.
I think BJ, I think it's going to be we'll get all that. We'll announce all that. I'm not even going to talk about that, but we're going to try to get something together where everybody is kind of connected and together. And I know everybody's going to be sitting different places, but we want to try to have a specific place to be at and to meet and greet, do that type of thing, man. So look, we should be getting excited.
Maybe we can do a live over there.
Yeah, we're going to do the whole thing, man. And so look, everybody stop worrying about what we can't control, and we get ready to control what we can control. And that is putting on a best performance. Yes, Vegas, here I come. Bobby, thank you. I'll be at the game. Where's the tailgate? We get ready. We're gonna figure all that out. And so,
hold on, Jay. Hold on, Jay. You forgot about the real main event.
What's
going down in Vegas.
What's that?
Blackie Chan running his 40, man.
Oh, hey, I'm gonna race Blackie Chan. Hey, hold on for a second. I'm gonna race Blackie Chan. I hope Blackie Chan. And guess what? We're gonna hit that 225, man. Somebody needs to bring a bench press out there. We're gonna have a lift off, man. We're gonna have a lift off.
Combine, man.
Hey, Blackie Chan, if you're not hitting it 26 times, Brandon, I sent you that video. You see me do it 26 times.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, if you're not hitting that 225 6 times, don't even touch it, Blackie Chan. Hey, BJ got it more than me. What are you hitting, 30 times?
32, yeah. 32 is my highest.
Man, you getting it, man. Yeah, 32, that's a lot. But hopefully I'll get back to that one day. I think the most was 28. It was a long time ago, though. But we'll get back into it. But we're going to try to have a good time, man. But I definitely appreciate you guys coming in. BJ, any last thing you wanted to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. Make sure you guys go subscribe to the Light the Torch podcast, where you can and consider those memberships too, man. You can get in the game, man. College Football 25 will be live streaming with the Light the Torch football team. USCJ will be our running back. Yeah. So, go ahead, man.
Hey, tell them where they can find. Put your Twitter handle and all that good stuff. Your Instagram and all that good stuff up. Well, tell them where they can find you, rather.
Yeah, you can find me on X, the Light the Torch, and also on Instagram _Light the Torch podcast. Okay,
that'll work. So look, hey, I definitely appreciate you guys coming on. There was another guy that looks like he got stuck in traffic. So shout out to my man USC Priority. USC Priority will be the starting corner.
I love it.
You better have some skills, man. I'm telling you that right now. So look, until later on, I will not be doing a video. This video will carry over to tomorrow. This is what it's going to be. So look, man, everybody stay blessed. I always say that, but something comes up. But everybody stay blessed until later on. Fight on, fight on, fight on.